Warning, this review contains foul language. Come on, are you surprised? What's up, folks? I'm Raging Amish, and this is my review of the Stoner.
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
No, wrong kind of stoner.
Stoner bashing time.
Okay, still the wrong stoner. I said stoner, not stoning. Anyway, here's the Stoner. The Stoner 63 is the classified LMG. You must unlock all of the other LMGs in order to purchase this weapon. Like the rest of the LMGs, the Stoner is fully automatic. However, this is the only light machine gun to feature a high rate of fire. Coming in at 937.5 RPM, the Stoner hands down has the highest fire rate among the LMGs. Unfortunately, this comes with a catch.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
You see, the mag size is lacking, coming in at only 30 rounds. Typically, 30 rounds is plenty, but that's not so on an LMG. The LMGs trade mobility for power. The last thing you need is to be worrying about frequent reloads, and that's what you'll get with the Stoner. You have ways to get around this, but it's something you'll have to compensate for. Truth be told, the mag size and high rate of fire basically makes the Stoner play less like an LMG and more like the AUG or even the FAMAS. Oh no. Your day is coming, my friend. Trust me, it is. But that day is not today. All I'm going to say right now is that the FAMAS is a gun designed for pussies.
That's us. Right here.
The day is coming when I'm going to lace into that gun, but that's a review for another day. I will cover how the Stoner compares to the FAMAS, but to do a fair comparison, I need to at least cover the Stoner first. So with that said, back to the gun review. As far as damage goes, the Stoner follows the Call of Duty trend for the LMGs. By this, I mean the weapon doesn't have a damage drop-off. I know the M60 had a drop-off, but that's actually not typical for the LMGs. More often than not, the light machine guns do the same damage up close as they do far away.
I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
On the Stoner, each bullet does 40 damage at any range. The Stoner is a 3-hit kill, always. Unless you manage to hit the head, in which case it can be a 2-hit kill. This gives the Stoner a huge edge when shooting from a distance. The LMGs excel at medium to long range combat, and the Stoner is no exception. When we look at the rest of the stats, what stands out to me is how the Stoner kind of plays like a drunk assault rifle. Let's start with the penetration power. And yes, I'm aware that my spelling of this word can be a bit suspect.
You got me. Hey, fellas, who's the goose? Me.
Unlike the rest of the LMGs, the Stoner has medium penetration power. The fact is, the Stoner doesn't shoot through walls easily. I mean, it can, but you won't kill foes behind cover without hardened. The crosshairs are LMG crosshairs. Overall, these are big. However, I don't think you need steady aim. The rate of fire is so high that the gun is still effective when fired from the hip. Yeah, you miss a good bit, but you're pumping out bullets like there's no tomorrow. Unfortunately, the rate of fire is about the only thing that's speedy on the Stoner. For example, you move at 87.5% of the full movement rate, and you're definitely going to feel it. One of the main reasons people avoid LMGs is because of this lack of mobility. The raise and drop times further add to the sluggishness of the Stoner. The raise time comes in at 0.9 seconds, and the drop time comes in at 0.7 seconds. Both of these times are pretty slow. Here's an oddity though. The other LMGs aim down the sight in 0.35 seconds. The Stoner aims down the sight in 0.25 seconds. That's the assault rifle aim down sight time from guns like the Galil and the FAMAS. As I was saying, this ADS time is actually pretty good. Sleight of Hand Pro isn't a necessity. However, I think you're going to end up using said perk anyway. Why? Well, because the base version of Sleight of Hand may as well be a mandate. The reload time from this gun blow.
Well, somebody sure is a grumpy Gus today.
The mag reloads in 3.2 seconds by default, and 3.8 seconds if the gun is empty. In each case, the magazine enters the gun at the 2.25 second mark. Say what you want, these reload times suck. If the Stoner came with a bigger default mag size, this wouldn't be that big a deal. But unfortunately, you're stuck with 30 rounds unless you use extended mags. And even then, I still advise sleight of hand. I'll touch on this more when we get to the red perks. Thankfully, when we move from the reload times to the recoil, the gun is a bit more user-friendly. But you'll have to dig deep to understand how. I say this because at first glance, the recoil profile isn't too friendly.
Stoner bashing time.
I'll be clear, you have a value of 70 to the left and right, a value of 60 upwards, and a value of 40 downwards. The values of 70 are pretty high. The Stoner is going to move on you. Kinda. See, here's the thing. Why am I saying the Stoner is user-friendly? It's because of the center speed. This stat comes in at 1700. As I touched on way back when with the SMGs, 1700 is that magic center speed that seems to make kick easy to manage. I'll admit, the Stoner can be a little unpredictable here and there, but overall the kick on the Stoner is manageable. Seriously, what's your excuse if you can't handle it?
'Cause I'm high! Fuck! What do you want? Okay, Jesus.
Sadly, not everything about the Stoner is lovely. The irons are kinda weird. I won't call them bad, but to be honest, I'm just not a fan. I preferred using an attachment to replace the irons. Speaking of which, up next is the attachments. Extended mags. In theory, this should be the best attachment. The irons are usable, and the rest of the attachments are sights. That means extended mags should be the logical default attachment. The Stoner tends to expend its magazine very quickly, and that can be a definite frustration.
Fucking stoners.
Having the extra mag size lowers the number of times you have to reload, so this seems like a logically good choice. Here's my take. I used sleight of hand exclusively with the Stoner. That pretty much negated the need for extended mags, since the reload times become so much more manageable. I'll touch on this a bit more when we get into the perks. ACOG sight. As many of you may have seen, I have had some pretty good drunken experiences with this attachment. On paper, I have no logical explanation as to why. The ACOG sight lowers the center speed to 1200. To give you an idea, the Uzi with the ACOG gets lowered to 1300. To me, it looks like someone at Treyarch had a personal vendetta against the ACOG on the Stoner.
God damn you!
Here's my best guess for why it works. At the end of the day, the Stoner is a long-range combat weapon. Yes, you can do quite well in close quarters, but the strong rounds cater the Stoner to a bit more of a ranged playstyle. The ACOG lets you accentuate this part of the Stoner's gameplay. Sure, the kick can get a bit unpredictable, but since the recoil profile is self-centering, the ACOG actually isn't that bad. Go figure, you can actually do well with the ACOG.
So smile.
Red dot sight, reflex sight. These were my preferred attachments. I will admit I tend to overvalue these sights. You should always try to get by with the weapons irons if you can. Doing so frees up your attachment slot. On the Stoner, however, since you are so adept at long-range combat, I think it's in your best interest to clean up the irons and replace them with the sight. These sights will greatly help you hone in on distant targets and put accurate volleys of shots into your enemies. Infrared scope. I'm running out of ways to say this, so I'll just say it. Fuck no. I think someone at Treyarch was high when they made this attachment. Think about it. If Treyarch was high, that'd definitely explain a lot.
We are not very functional when we're high, which is all the fucking time.
I'm not sure how to segue from that, so let's just get into the perks. For your blue perk, I must say Scavenger is really going to come in handy. With just a 120 round loadout and no dual mags option, the Stoner will chew through ammo like mad. Scavenger is a big help. Outside of Scavenger, I'd say look at Ghost and Flak Jacket. Each of these perks will help protect you a bit and will help you stay alive longer. For your red perk, I think the choice is simple. Sleight of Hand is clearly the best choice.
Yes, you are.
No matter how you spin it, the reload times are really, really bad. Even with extended mags, I just found that the downtime to reload was just too long. I will at least mention Warlord though. I found mixing extended mags with the sight to be pretty effective. Having 2 attachments gives you some much needed flexibility.
Alright!
Not to take the cop-out route, but I don't have any advice for the green perk. Just pick something that fits your playstyle. Overall, I definitely enjoyed the Stoner. The weapon is an absolute powerhouse. The gun does 40 damage at any range and boasts the highest default fire rate in the game. So, why don't people use it? I think that comes back to the whole FAMAS versus Stoner comparison I brought up at the beginning. The Stoner and the FAMAS actually have a lot in common. They share ADS times, mag size, and rate of fire. The FAMAS is everywhere, yet the Stoner is a rare sighting. Does this mean the Stoner is undervalued or actually a bad weapon? In my opinion, I think the whole argument comes back to the fact that the Stoner is an LMG. Unfortunately, the weapon has slow reloads, a bad movement rate, huge crosshairs, and frankly not all that many attachments to choose from. The only thing the Stoner really has over the FAMAS is the 3-hit kill at range. The FAMAS is a 4-hit kill at range. Unfortunately, in Black Ops, that means jack. 95% of Black Ops is urban combat. The long-range bonus really means nothing when you consider how rarely you'll be able to actually take advantage of it. Seriously, Treyarch, thanks for the diversity in the map design.
Suck my balls 2 times.
That being said, I still think the Stoner is an absolute powerhouse. This LMG will serve you well, provided you can live with the frequent, slow reloads. I highly advise checking this gun out. It'll definitely come in handy. That concludes my review of the Stoner.
This ends now!
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Join me next time, where I'll be covering the the fall. I'll see you there.
Nobody